You've built your ghost agency. You've moved your assets into the immutable fortress. You have your keys, your gold, and your 72-hour survival plan. You are, for all intents and purposes, unplugged. But there is a final, dangerous illusion that kills most architects before they ever reach true freedom. It is the myth of the lone wolf. In the old world, we were taught that independence meant being alone. We were told that a man with a mountain of supplies and a locked door was safe. But in the era of the Great Filter, a castle is just a prison if you have no one to trade with on the outside. True sovereignty isn't about isolation. It's about choosing your tribe. Welcome to the third pillar, the sovereign network. This is where your individual strength becomes systemic power. Think of the world today as a series of centralized hubs. Your bank is a hub, your social media platform is a hub, your government is a hub. These hubs provide connection, but they charge a hidden tax, your autonomy. They decide who you can talk to, what you can buy, and which nodes are allowed to exist. When the Great Filter tightens, these hubs don't just filter information, they filter people. They disconnect the non-compliant. If you rely on these hubs for your professional and social life, you are still a tenant, no matter how much Bitcoin you have. To be an architect, you must stop being a user of a network and start becoming a node in a parallel one. Let's look at the corporate trap. For 100 years, the model of success was the pyramid. A CEO at the top, layers of management in the middle, and workers at the bottom. This structure is built on dependency. It requires you to show up, trade your time for a currency you don't control, and hope the people at the top make good decisions. In 2026, the pyramid is crumbling. It's too slow, too fragile, and too easy to censor. The sovereign network replaces the pyramid with the mesh. In a mesh network, there is no boss. There are only nodes, independent architects who collaborate on a project-by-project basis. When you built your ghost agency, you became a node. Now, you need to find others. You don't hire people. You connect with other agencies. You trade value for value, often in non-centralized currencies, and you do it through private channels. This isn't just freelancing, it is a parallel economy. Imagine a world where your graphic designer is a ghost in Lisbon, your lead generator is an architect in Singapore, and your legal advisor is an unindexed consultant in Dubai. You aren't a company in the traditional sense. You are a digital privateer fleet. You move faster. You have no central office to raid, and you have no single point of failure. If one node goes offline, the network routes around the damage. This is how you stay invisible to the filter. But how do you find these people? In a world filled with agents and actors, trust is the most expensive commodity on Earth. You cannot find the sovereign network on LinkedIn. You won't find it in a public Facebook group. The network exists in the gaps. It exists in private encrypted servers. It exists in gated communities where the buy-in isn't just money, but demonstrated competence. To enter the network, you must first prove your worth. This is why we spent the first week of this challenge building your agency. In the sovereign network, your resume is your proof of work. Can you generate revenue without a boss? Can you secure your own data? If the answer is yes, the gates open. Once you are inside, you realize that the network isn't just about business. It is about human redundancy. In video number 7, we talked about physical assets. But what happens if you need to move your family across a border and the standard channels are closed? What happens if you need medical care outside the centralized system? What happens if you need a second set of eyes on a contract that the local authorities would never approve? This is where your global nodes come in. A sovereign network is a mutual defense pact. You provide value to the network, and the network provides you with options. You are no longer a citizen of a single failing state. You are a member of a global, decentralized elite that looks out for its own. There is a concept in networking called the high trust circle. Most people have a low trust network, thousands of friends and followers they don't actually know. These people are liabilities. In a crisis, they are the first to panic and the first to point fingers. The architect maintains a high trust circle of no more than 12 to 15 people. These are your first responders. They are the other architects who have the same fortress, the same mindset, and the same commitment to sovereignty. You should know their 72-hour audit. They should know yours. You are the external backup for each other's lives. Let's talk about the parallel economy. Currently, every time you buy a coffee or pay a contractor, a central bank logs that transaction. They see where the money went, who received it, and what it was for. This data is the primary tool of the Great Filter. It allows them to score your behavior. The sovereign network operates on dark liquidity. This doesn't mean anything illegal, it means private. Using Monero, physical silver, or barter exchange of services, the network bypasses the observation hubs. You pay your developer in assets that don't trigger a report. You buy your equipment from another architect who doesn't require a digital ID for a simple transaction. This is the black market of the future, but it's not for criminals, it's for the free. It is a market where the value of a thing is decided by the two people trading it, not by a central committee in a distant capital. By transacting within the network, you starve the old system and feed the new one. However, there is a warning I must give you. The network is only as strong as its weakest link. In 2026, social engineering is the primary weapon of the system. They will try to infiltrate the network. They will send actors who speak the language of sovereignty but act as snitches for the filter. This is why we use trust architectures. Never give full information to a new node. Use need-to-know protocols. Use multi-sig wallets for large transactions so no single person can run with the funds. Verification is the highest form of respect in the network. If someone is offended that you want to verify their proof of work, they aren't an architect. They are a vulnerability. As we move toward the end of this 30-day challenge, your goal is to transition from learning to connecting. Your homework for today is the network audit. Look at your phone's contact list. How many of those people would be nodes in a crisis? How many of them have a fortress? How many of them could help you if the IOUs in your bank account became worthless tomorrow? If the answer is 0, you have a massive hole in your defenses. You are a lone wolf and the winter is coming. Start small. Find one other person who is watching this series. Find one person in your local area who understands the Lindy effect of gold or the importance of private keys. Build a bridge. Exchange a small amount of value, not in dollars, but in service or hard assets. Practice the mesh lifestyle before you actually need it. The Great Filter is a lonely place for those who try to outrun it. But for those who build a network, the filter is simply a change in the weather. While the masses are panicking because their hubs are failing, the sovereign network will be quietly thriving in the gaps. You are an architect. You are no longer building for yourself. You are building for the network. And the network will, in turn, build a future for you. Stay sharp. Stay connected. Stay sovereign.